keep telling you that your pain is the problem, that your past is why you can't move forward, that the weight on your shoulders is too much, the world's unfair, and you should slow down, take it easy, and wait for permission to rise. That's the trap. That's the comfort speech designed to keep you average. Because here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Pain isn't the obstacle. It's the price. It's the toll gate on the road to anything worthwhile. You don't get to greatness without being torn apart. You don't get strength without strain. You don't earn power without bleeding for it, grinding for it, clawing it out of the darkest places inside yourself. Nobody is coming to carry you through that. And if they did, you'd be too soft to hold the crown when you got there. The people who hold you back aren't stronger than you. They're just louder. They project their weakness onto you because it validates their own excuses. They see your ambition and it scares them because it reflects what they're too afraid to chase. So they throw shade. They question your intensity. They whisper about your obsession. But they weren't there when you were dragging yourself through hell just to keep moving. They weren't in your silence when your heart was shattered and you still showed up. They don't know the weight you've carried, because if they did, they'd shut their mouths and open their eyes. The ones who try to hold you down are already beneath you. They just haven't accepted it yet. The real challenge isn't them. It's you versus the version of yourself that thinks you need approval to be powerful. You don't need them to see you. You don't need their validation. You need your fire. You need your warpath. You need to treat every ounce of doubt, every insult, every no you've ever received as fuel. Because this world respects one thing: results. It doesn't care about your intentions. It doesn't reward you for almost. It doesn't hand out medals for potential. You either break through or you stay broken. That's the game. That's the raw truth. And the ones who win, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who turned pain into momentum. They're the ones who showed up again and again when everything in them screamed to stop. They're the ones who didn't just survive the pain. They weaponized it. You don't need perfect conditions to rise. You don't need silence to focus. You need to get comfortable in the noise. You need to operate under pressure. When your hands are shaking, when your mind is screaming, when your legs are giving out, and still move. You need to get intimate with struggle. Because struggle reveals what comfort hides. It shows you where you're weak, and then it dares you to build strength right there, in that exact spot. That's where power is born. Not in soft hands and quiet rooms, but in the fire you choose to walk into willingly. They think, because they've seen you fall, they've seen your end. Because they watched you go silent, they assume you broke. But they don't understand what real power looks like. Power isn't loud, it isn't desperate, it doesn't need attention. Real power rebuilds in private. Real power refuels in isolation. When the world turns its back, when the noise fades, when the spotlight dies out, that's where transformation begins. In the silence where most people go numb, you sharpen the blade. You gather your pain, your embarrassment, your doubt, and you smelt it down into discipline, into precision, into edge. You strip yourself down to the bone and start reconstructing something colder, harder, smarter. The world only sees the silence. They don't see the war happening inside. They don't see the sweat, the sacrifice, the nights without sleep, the early mornings when your body refuses but your soul insists. They thought you gave up. What they didn't know is that you were refining, reforging. They thought the silence was defeat. But it was construction. You were dismantling every lie you believed about your limits. You were breaking down the illusions they fed you, about who you are, what you're worth, what you can handle. They'll never understand that type of solitude because they're addicted to distraction. They can't sit with themselves long enough to change. But you, when the world stopped clapping, when nobody was watching, you kept swinging, you kept building, you kept pushing the weight even when it felt like your ribs were cracking under pressure. You kept showing up when there was no applause, no recognition, no reward. That's the difference. That's what makes you unstoppable. Nobody can break what you reforged in darkness. When you've rebuilt yourself from scratch, you don't fear being shattered. You've already lived through collapse. You've already tasted rock bottom, and instead of dying there, you set up a training ground. They look at your face and see calm. They don't see the storm you've already survived. They hear your voice and mistake it for peace. They don't realize it's laced with every scream you never let out. They see your stride and think it's confidence. It's not. It's control. It's the walk of a man who rebuilt his own legs after crawling through hell. That kind of power can't be bought. It can't be gifted. It has to be earned, alone. You don't need to yell to be heard. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone who questions your worth. You don't have time to explain yourself to people who still think comfort builds character. You don't exist for their approval. You exist to win the war inside yourself every single day. And when they try to test you, when they try to corner you, when they try to shake what you've built, they'll realize too late that the version of you they thought they could handle doesn't exist anymore. What stands before them now is something forged in silence, shaped by pain, and powered by a mind they'll never understand. They're going to doubt you. They're going to laugh at your ambition, mock your discipline, question your silence, and challenge your commitment. Every time you say no to the easy path, you'll be called extreme. Every time you go all in, they'll say you're obsessed. But none of that matters. Their words are noise. Their opinions are cheap. Discipline is the only language that matters in this world. The man who shows up every day, no matter the weather, no matter the pain, no matter who's watching or not watching, that's the man they'll have to respect eventually. Ruthless discipline doesn't seek permission. It doesn't wait for motivation. It doesn't ask for understanding. It just does the work. Again and again, until the results are so loud that even the blind can see them. They don't get it because they don't do it. They've never stayed loyal to a process long enough to taste the payoff. They've never dragged themselves through months of silence and repetition while the world moved on without them. They've never had to look in the mirror and hold themselves accountable when no one else cared. They've never chosen growth over pleasure, pain over distraction, hunger over comfort. But you have, and that's why their opinions are irrelevant. The man who's endured knows. The man who's committed understands. You're not after quick wins. You're not chasing hype. You're after something built to last. And that takes discipline. Not the pretty kind, not the Instagram kind, the kind that gets ugly, the kind that hurts, the kind that demands everything and gives nothing until you've paid your price in full. It doesn't matter how smart you are if you're inconsistent. It doesn't matter how talented you are if you're unreliable. Raw intelligence is useless without follow-through. And that's where most people fall. They read, they talk, they plan, but they don't act. They don't repeat, they don't lock in. You want to be dangerous, then outlast them, outsuffer them, outdiscipline every single one of them. That's how you separate. That's how you rise. You want respect. Earn it in the dark. Earn it when it's not convenient. Earn it when everything in you wants to stop, but you keep showing up anyway. That's the code. That's the currency. Not likes, not applause, just work. Relentless work. And here's the truth: discipline is louder than talent. Discipline is louder than hype. Discipline is the one thing that can't be faked, can't be bought, can't be passed down. You either earn it through repetition, or you don't have it at all. The world tries to sell shortcuts, success without sacrifice, glory without grind. But anyone who's ever built anything real knows better. They know the early mornings, the late nights, the missed parties, the bruised knuckles, the torn hands, the aching back, the loneliness. They know that behind every sharp mind is a sharper schedule. Behind every strong body is 100 days of pain. Behind every powerful man is a pile of days no one ever saw. The kind of days that would have broken a lesser man. Most people are obsessed with being liked. They shrink themselves, soften their words, suppress their instincts, just to stay inside the warm little cage of social approval. They think that being agreeable is a virtue, that being nice earns respect, that if they just stay humble and patient, the world will eventually hand them what they want. But the truth is brutal. The world doesn't reward niceness, it rewards strength. It rewards clarity, it rewards results. Niceness is often just fear in disguise. Fear of being judged, fear of being different, fear of confrontation. And that fear is what keeps people weak, keeps them broke, keeps them in line. The man who wants to rise above can't live in that cage. He has to break it, burn it, and never look back. You think power is about being loved. It's not. It's about being respected. And respect doesn't come from trying to please everyone. It comes from having the courage to stand alone, to speak the truth when it's unpopular, to do what's necessary when others freeze. A man who is driven by approval is a slave to everyone's opinion. He can be manipulated, redirected, broken at the first sign of resistance. But but a man who operates from purpose, from unshakable principles, from an internal code that doesn't bend for feelings, that man becomes immovable. He becomes dangerous. He becomes the one people look to when everything else collapses. There's a reason people remember the ones who didn't fold. The ones who said no when everyone else said yes. The ones who set boundaries, drew lines, stood firm. Not out of arrogance, but out of discipline, out of self-respect. Out of a deep, primal understanding that your value doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being real, being precise, being unflinching when the pressure hits. Because it will hit, they will test you, they will push. They will try to make you small so they feel big. And if you bend, if you appease, if you let them mold you into something soft and safe, they'll never fear you, never follow you, never truly respect you. They'll smile to your face and walk over your name. You want to build power? Start by learning to be misunderstood. Learn to be disliked. Learn to operate in silence without needing the crowd's applause. Let them gossip. Let them mislabel you. Let them think you're cold, arrogant, distant. Because while they're busy judging your image, you'll be busy building results. You'll be too focused on the mission to explain yourself, too disciplined to defend your standards. You don't need everyone to agree with your path. You just need to walk it with such conviction that nothing can pull you off course. That's where your edge lies, in the gap between how you're perceived and what you actually are. And in that space, only the strong survive. Only the focused thrive. Only the ones who've killed their addiction to approval will ever know what it means to be free. They tried to hold you back. They underestimated your silence, your setbacks, your scars. They thought breaking you once meant you'd stay broken. But what they didn't see, what they could never understand, is that every hit made you harder, every failure built your foundation. Every lonely night turned your thoughts into weapons. You didn't fold, you didn't beg, you studied, you trained, you became unrecognizable to the version of yourself that used to seek comfort. And now you don't chase, you don't wait. You don't need their validation, their applause, or their permission. You are forged, not found, sharpened, not softened, respected, not liked. Because you didn't escape the fire, you became it. And no one, not their doubt, not their judgment, not their weakness, can stop what's already been rebuilt in the dark. They can't hold you back. They can't break you. They can't stop you. Because you've already decided you're not here to be remembered for fitting in. You're here to be impossible to ignore.